It is day 2 of the United Nations Security Council's Counter-Terrorism Committee meeting in India. The ongoing summit in Delhi is being held under India's chair of the UNSC's anti-terror panel and marks the first ever talks of this sort being held in the South Asian nation. The meeting aims at discussing countering the use of new and emerging technologies for terrorist purposes. While addressing the second session of the meeting on Saturday, Indian External Affairs Minister S. Jaishankar warned against the growing global threat of terrorism, particularly in Asia and Africa.
Terrorism remains one of the gravest threats to humanity. The UN Security Council, in the past 2 decades, has evolved an important architecture built primarily around the counter-terrorism sanctions regime to combat this menace. This has been very effective in putting those countries on notice that had turned terrorism into a state-funded enterprise.
Jaishankar further warned against the use of encrypted message services and blockchains and other such technologies in terrorism that pose new challenges for the governments across the globe.
There is a flip side, especially where terrorism is concerned. These very technologies have also thrown up new challenges for governments and regulatory bodies due to their potential vulnerability for misuse by non-state actors, given the very nature of some of these technologies and the nascent regulatory environment.
United Kingdom's Foreign Secretary James Cleverly, who is in India to attend the meeting, too raised concerns over the usage of technology for influencing the vulnerable.
And online incitement and radicalization of vulnerable people in far-off countries who have then gone on to use simple rental vans as weapons of terror. So we must continue to work together to fight terrorist ideologies online.
Now, the remarks on the need to combat terrorism comes a day after India raised the 26/11 attacks in the United Nations Security Council Anti-Terrorism Committee meeting. In a veiled attack on China and Pakistan, the Indian minister said that the culprits of the attack are still unpunished as China blocked 5 India-US proposals to sanction Pakistan-based terrorist leaders at the United Nations Security Council since June this year. The CTC meeting is represented by all 15 members of the United Nations Security Council and the 5 incoming members. It is being chaired by Ruchira Kamboj, India's permanent representative at the United Nations, with India's External Affairs Minister S. Jaishankar present. And for more on this story, our principal diplomatic correspondent Siddhant Sibal has sent us this report from New Delhi.
The second day of United Nations Counter-Terror Committee's meeting is underway here in Delhi. We are at the location site, and we know that the Indian External Affairs Minister Dr. S. Jaishankar spoke earlier in the day, and he talked about the worries over usage of technology and drones when it comes to terrorists and also terror financing as well, using new ways. But of course, the big worry was over increased worries of terrorism in Asia and Africa. But largely, we have seen his sentiments being echoed by other foreign ministers and other ministers like the Foreign Secretary of United Kingdom, who pointed out to terror attacks in Mumbai, in Bali and London. The UAE minister pointed to terror attacks in her country, UAE, using drones. And we know that largely the focus of this meeting is to make sure that the new technologies are not used when it comes to the terrorists. But largely, we saw in Mumbai, it was homage being paid to 26/11 victims, and how India detailed Pakistan's role when it comes to 26/11, even playing the audio of Sajid Mir, who was heard in the audio how he was directing the 26/11 Mumbai terror attacks. With video journalist Chandrasekhar Siddhant for WION in New Delhi.
WION is now available in your country. Download the app now and get all the news on the move.